to speak to you and be here at the British Museum. What a location.
I mean, this is incredible, isn't it? I hope we don't lose our deposit and break something, you know? No.
Don't lean on any statues.
No, I mean, it's wonderful. I'm an Irishman on St. Patrick's Night in the British Museum. There's a full moon outside for Moon Night. You know, it doesn't get much better.
So tell us a bit about Moon Knight and your character. I've heard it described as Fight Club meets Indiana Jones. Would you say that's about right?
Yeah, I mean, add One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest into that as well, because it's nothing like you imagine it to be. You know, it is like it's you're forever walking on ground that is moving in Moon Knight. It's I think it's such a brave step into mental illness, into that, you know, into the effects of that on somebody, but it's also just wonderful old-fashioned storytelling where anything can happen, and that's the genius of Marvel. Anything can happen at any point, you know. So it's a real thrill for me to come in, you know, to be invited into this world. I mean, it doesn't get better.
And can you tell us a bit about your character and what they can expect to see from you?
Yeah, so I play Billy, who is a bit of a dodgy cop in London who is enamored with Ethan's philosophy and his skills as a, dare I say, cult leader. So I guess I become a disciple of his philosophy and get tempted towards the darker side.
And, you know, what two incredible actors at the centre of this, Oscar Isaac and Ethan Hawke, and perhaps not in roles we'd expect to see them, especially Ethan Hawke. So what was it like working alongside them, and why do you think they're both such great actors?
Well, first and foremost, they're artists. Like, they're just, you know, neither of them just do one thing. The night before I started filming, I watched Ethan's TED Talk on art, and he's a director, writer. I'd met him in New York years and years ago, and you know, we both play music and write music, and you know, he's just made his documentary. He's kind of more cowboy than New Yorker. You know, he's an extraordinary guy. And Oscar, you could write off as this beautiful looking leading man. Oscar is such an artist, is such a hard worker. So to be in a room with these guys, you've got to bring your A game, and you've got to try and stand toe to toe. And very early on, I just decided to play and, you know, try and add my flavor and see what that did. But what an honor to be in that room with those guys, with the directors we had, Benson and Morehouse and Mohammed, and our producers. Like, you know, it's people really at the top of what they do. And
it does lean into the darker side of things. Like you said, it touches on mental health. What do you think people are going to take away from watching this series?
Well, I think Marvel have this wonderful opportunity to change how television is done and to not shy away from the darker side. We saw it with the last Joker film. There is a real market for truth and honesty, and I think I think people are going to be profoundly moved, but also so excited and terrified by what happens. I mean, you can't take your eyes off it. So, yeah. Oh my God, this has been a while coming. I'm so delighted, and particularly as yet another Irishman to join the MCU on St. Patrick's Day. You know, it's in the stars, and we've a full moon. So, you know, I think it was, it's kind of meant to be. So excited. This is the wildest trip. This is everything that you would expect of Marvel, and then so full of surprises. I think it has got some of the greatest actors on the planet, let alone to have ever been in Marvel. You know, Ethan and Oscar are phenomenal, and May is breathtaking. You know, it's just, I think it's going to be a roller coaster. So I play Billy, who is half of a police duo in London who may or may not be quite what they seem, and are enticed by Ethan's charisma, and led to the dark side.